Welcome to the Vintage Athlete Podcast, specially designed for retired athletes. I'm your host, Tara Fortier. I'm a master's level licensed and board certified behavior analyst, yoga and meditation teacher, nutrition coach, and now mom of 2 athletes. But most importantly, I'm just like you, a retired athlete doing life after sport. Whether it's trying new things that you might be bad at, learning how to feed and exercise your post-sport body without kicking your own butt, or figuring out how to fill that giant hole in your life that used to be filled with practices, coaches, teammates, and the adrenaline rush of your sport, I'm going to drop some unconventional knowledge and strategies on you and do it from a place of love and acceptance. We'll tackle solutions from a unique perspective rooted in mindfulness and acceptance and commitment therapy. If you're a retired athlete looking to create a fulfilling and empowered life beyond your sport, this show is for you. This is the Vintage Athlete Podcast, your game plan for life after sports. So lace up for your next adventure and we'll transition, redefine, and evolve together. Hey friends, welcome back to the Vintage Athlete Podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. So this is the first in a series of 3 episodes where I'm really going to dive into mindfulness and meditation for former athletes. I'm going to address the specific challenges that retired athletes can have with this and why it's so important to change that mindset, because these tools are game changers in life after sports. So I'm really glad that you're here today because we are going to start by diving into something that hits close to home for so many of us, and that is the struggle with stillness. So if you're a former athlete and you find it really hard to sit still or slow down or rest without guilt, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not lazy. You are disoriented. So we're going to talk about why stillness feels so uncomfortable after sports, how your nervous system was trained for constant motion, and how mindfulness and meditation can help you find that new rhythm, one that supports your growth and your healing. So let's start here. Being an athlete meant being in motion, always. Training, recovering, competing, pushing, and even our rest days had purpose. Stillness, that just wasn't part of the plan, unless it was forced by injury. And if you are anything like I was and still am, if I am injured, I am struggling. It is really hard for me to sit and heal when I'm hurt. I've gotten much better at doing it for my own reasons, but to be forced by injury to sit still and stay still, that's a big struggle. And when I am hurt, I'm often wanting to rush, right? Rush the healing process. So if that feels familiar to you, you are not alone. So when practices stop, when the team text goes silent and the structure of competitive sports disappears, we feel really unsettled. So we confuse stillness with doing nothing. And in athlete world, doing nothing often equates to failure. And with that comes guilt. Guilt that we didn't do enough, guilt that we didn't try hard enough. And that is a hard transition to make. If that's still how you're feeling in sports retirement, then that's a struggle. So let me be clear. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not quitting. And it sure as hell isn't lazy. It takes strength to do something that is counterintuitive to what your body is telling you. It's a skill, and no one teaches us how to use it, especially as athletes. And so what I want to help you do is to learn that skill in retirement, because you're going to need it, and it's going to help you in your life after sports. Let's talk about the nervous system. when you compete for years, your body gets used to having this baseline of activation. So your baseline state is that high alertness, the pregame jitters, the rush of pushing through fatigue, that all becomes your normal. So when competition ends, your body doesn't know what to do. So when the competition ends, your body doesn't know what to do. That discomfort that you feel when you slow down, that's not laziness. That's your nervous system being confused. So you're not broken. You're just conditioned. And the good news is that that can change. You can recondition your nervous system to embrace stillness. And that's what we're going to talk about next is how to do that. So let's pause for a moment here. I want you to take a deep breath. And then I want you to ask yourself some questions. So, first one is, when was the last time I rested without guilt? And I don't mean just like going to sleep at night. I mean taking time for yourself just to be still, just to rest, just to acknowledge that that's what your body needs. When was the last time that you rested without guilt? I'll give you a moment. And we can come back to these after I ask them all. So, next question, what does stillness feel like in my body right now? If you're being still right now, listening to this or watching this, how do you feel? And last question, if I stop doing, what do I fear might happen? So, think about that. And these questions are mindfulness. They help you check in, not check out. So, it might be a little uncomfortable answering these questions, but it helps you draw some awareness to how you feel about these things. And on that last question, if I stop doing, what do I fear might happen? When I retired from gymnastics, I remember being afraid that I might lose my coordination or my flexibility if I took time to rest and not work on those things at every moment that I could. And I also think that we're afraid to be quiet and alone with our thoughts. We're in a constant state of receiving input from the world, and that allows us to avoid our own thoughts. And for retired athletes who are navigating very specific and unique thoughts and emotions that go along with their transition to life after sports, that can provide some relief, right? That constant input. However, avoiding this can do more harm than good. And that in of itself is an entire other episode that I will get into soon. So I'm not going to go too deep into that right now, but just know that trying to avoid or escape those thoughts and those emotions is often counterproductive. So let's take a moment to answer these questions for yourself. Pause this if you need to, and then bring some awareness to how you handle stillness and rest right now in your life. So, just to repeat those questions for you in case you want to pause and think about it. First question, when was the last time I rested without guilt? Second question, what does stillness feel like in my body right now? And third question, if I stop doing, what do I fear might happen? So, just take a few moments and think about that for yourself and bring that awareness to your current state on those things. All right. Welcome back if you paused. um, so, those questions are very much about mindfulness, and mindfulness is not about clearing your mind. That's what a lot of people think it is. It's about training your mind. So think about mindfulness and meditation as the gym for your mind. And just like the gym, no one expects perfection. You just show up consistently. You do what you came to do. And so if you find stillness and mindfulness and meditation challenging, that's normal. And that's why you practice it, so that you can get better at it and you can get stronger at it, just like you trained your body. So over time, your nervous system will start to trust the stillness. You'll learn to sit with your thoughts. You'll learn to rest without guilt. And you'll learn to be with yourself fully. So let's do a quick reset. We're just going to do a quick little breathing practice. I'm going to guide you through it. So if you are doing something right now where you're kind of multitasking, you need to pay attention to something else as well. You might want to pause and save this for later. You don't need to close your eyes. So if you're driving and you feel like you can handle it, cool. If not, just pause and come back to it later. But we're going to just breathe in a structured way. So we're going to inhale for a count of 4. And then we're going to hold at the top of that inhale for 4. You're going to exhale through your mouth for 4. And then you're going to hold at the bottom. So holding empty for 4. Okay? So let's start by inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And now come back to your natural breathing. That's it. That's where it starts, right? We just did that for 2 full breaths. You were still, you were focused, you were in the present moment. So then we just build from there. Pico Iyer, who is a beloved travel writer and proponent of mindfulness, said, "In an age of speed, nothing can be more exhilarating than slowing down. In an age of distraction, nothing is so luxurious as paying attention. And in an age of constant movement, nothing is so urgent as sitting still." And I think that quote really drives home the point that I'm trying to make today, which is that stillness is strength. Stillness is clarity, and stillness is healing. And if stillness feels hard right now, it doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that your body and your mind are adjusting. But now in sports retirement, you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to perform to be valuable. And you don't have to fear slowing down. You can learn stillness, and I can help with that. So if this is speaking to you, I want you to check out the meditation playbook. It's my self-paced course that I made for former athletes just like you. And you don't have to know how to meditate, you just have to be curious about it. So to read more, to find out more, visit vintageathlete.org/meditation-playbook. And I will put the link in the show notes as well, so you can click there. And let's redefine what strength looks like now in your life after sports. So if you have any questions after looking at it and you want to reach out, please feel free to do so. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to help kind of facilitate changing your mindset on stillness. So please feel free to reach out. And thank you for listening. And the next episode in this series will be out in probably 2 weeks, and we'll continue to tackle and address some of the ideas behind mindfulness, meditation, stillness. So I will see you in the next episode of the Vintage Athlete Podcast. And until then, keep evolving. You have officially crossed the finish line of this episode of the Vintage Athlete Podcast. Congrats. I hope you're feeling empowered to live your best life after sports. And remember, you are not alone in this journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback not only helps improve this podcast, but also helps other retired athletes find our community. Stay connected with me on Instagram at vintage.athlete for daily tips, inspiring stories, and to share your own experiences. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being a part of the Vintage Athlete team. Together, let's continue to find balance, build fitness, and redefine success in this exciting new chapter. I'm Tara Fortier, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time. Until then, keep evolving and keep creating your legacy beyond the game. Take care, and see you next time on the Vintage Athlete Podcast.